Welcome to another exciting edition of the P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Abel Sunday. Today, we turn our attention to where Xabi Alonso and his troops seems to have steadied the ship after a shaky result against Atletico Madrid. The Spaniard tactical brilliance is once again getting tongues rolling across Europe as Madrid look to regain their dominance. Joining me virtually to break it all down is our Lagos-based football analyst Walter Odige, and from the ancient city of Benin, our ever-brilliant sport voice Eru John. Grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now. Welcome back. It's the P&B Sports Show from the nation's capital. And gentlemen, it's great to have you on the show again. Alonso's men are back and back and back. Can they sustain this form? Let me start with the happiest man on earth right now. Let me start with Walter. Let me start with you. Can they sustain this momentum? Because it looks like Barcelona is going to get it very tough this season. Is Walter there? Okay, let's go to Eru then. If Walter is not Eru, are you there with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Alonso's men are back. Do you think they can sustain this momentum, this form? And I think and his fleet have a whole lot to do this season with this to go against Barcelona. Against Real Madrid this season. Don't you think so?
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Sonny. Good morning, P&B Sports fans. I completely agree with you. I sincerely agree with you. You know, when Xabi Alonso was hired by Real Madrid, I knew he was going to be a terror. I knew he was going to be a menace. I knew he was going to cause so much havoc in the La Liga. We saw what he did with the Bayern Leverkusen side in Germany. He even went on to win the league unbeaten. That's a big statement. That's a very huge statement. Not just winning the league with a Bayern Leverkusen team, but winning it unbeaten. I mean, it is a huge statement. He even went on to the Europa League final at that time, although he lost to Atalanta, I guess. So we have seen Xabi Alonso has showed potential. He has showed what he has to offer. He has showed that I'm not one to throw under the carpet. He's a force to reckon with. And then you see Real Madrid as a team. They are quite a complete team. They are quite a compact team. They have brilliant players. It is now even more terrifying because the likes of Kylian Mbappe has finally found his feet in the team. We saw how, even despite the fact that he struggled last season for a bit, we saw the number of goals he was able to pull. He was able to pull the double figures despite his struggling form at that time. But right now, he's the Kylian Mbappe we know. He is scoring at every point in time. The Xabi Alonso, the formation, the tactics that Xabi Alonso uses, Madrid's team, they have clicked to it completely. I keep saying it, that them losing to Atletico Madrid was largely because of the fierce rivalry. I don't think it was largely because of a tactical plan that they lost to Atletico. But it's a problem for Hansi Flick. We cannot also write off Barcelona because we have seen Barcelona also do some wonders. But my only reservation and problem with Barcelona team is that presently the team lacks proper depth. The team does not have depth. The only challenge with that team, we see that most of their substitutions are academy players. Are they good players? Yes. Or is this sustainable? It's a huge question. Is this sustainable? In their last match, when I was watching the game, they were drawing 1-1. When I looked at the bench, I was disappointed. I was discouraged. There was not a single game changer on the bench. We see 15, 16, 17-year-old players all on the bench. They are good players, but is it sustainable? Can they handle so much pressure? Can they turn up when it is needed most? It leaves you with questions. So I strongly believe that we still have a long way to go in the season. Injuries will come in, forms will decline, teams will pick up forms. and then the Champions League is setting in. Other competitions like the Copa del Rey will begin to come in. Fatigue will begin to set in. So let's see what the season holds. But I strongly believe that Xabi Alonso has a point to prove this season. And if care is not taken, he will prove it and prove it completely. Yeah, so that's my take on that.
Well said. Okay, let me go back to you, Walter. It's like you were off a little bit. The network took you off a little bit. But Walter, with the form of Kylian Mbappe right now in Real Madrid, and will you say he made the right move from PSG to Real Madrid? Because I think we could see the quality now. Yes, we could see it in PSG, but I think Real Madrid is the platform for him to showcase that better. Don't you think so? Or do you agree with my statement?
Please come again. I didn't get you.
I said, with the form currently of Kylian Mbappe in Real Madrid, one will say that is the right decision for him to leave PSG to Real Madrid. And don't you think Real Madrid is the better platform for him to showcase the talent that he has?
Very well.
Are you there, Walter?
Yes, I'm with you now. Okay, yes, very well. It's even if Mbappe had stayed at PSG, I think the progression he has made in his career would have still been there, because it's a natural progression moving from PSG to Real Madrid. He moved for me at the right age. He didn't move as a kid. He moved when he was matured enough. So Mbappe is 26 years old now, and yes, a 26 years old should be more matured in terms of attitude and character. Should be a stronger, a tougher, and a better player, and also should be a more improved player. So even if he had stayed at what's it called now, PSG, I think he would have still improved as a result of his age and as a result of his experience in the game. But yes, Mbappe has been a very, very good player, good form. He becomes the first Real Madrid player to score 10 plus goals after the first 9 games since Cristiano Ronaldo. So yes, he's doing very well at Madrid. I am happy. I never had doubt if Mbappe would do well at Madrid. I think my only issue was I was thinking, since Vinny was already at the club, Madrid was doing well. Bringing Mbappe, you try and say, okay, you know what, come and play 9. I didn't know how that would work, but like every great player did, like Cristiano Ronaldo did before him, you will adapt. You have to adapt, and I think the first few months at Madrid, he was a bit slow. He was making the wrong decisions because probably he didn't want to play as a centre forward. But he's embracing the role more and more every time now. He's getting better and better. So it's a natural progression.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me go back to you, Eru. Quickly, before we go to Champions League, we have Champions League games today. Quickly, let's see. I don't know how you could tie this up. And then maybe you just migrate to Champions League because it's still Barcelona. You see the way Rashford have key into NC Flick's pattern. Don't you think if Amory would have been able to look at Rashford and see how he could get the best out of him, don't you think Manchester United could have been better off than what they have today? Though we have the likes of Umbamo and how they call Umbamo, Sesko, is it Sesko? And Matheus Cunha that they brought in, though those guys are also doing well. But don't you think he could have gotten a best out of him? And again, quickly, you tie this up so that before we move to Walter, you tie this, the Champions League today. They are playing against Olympiacos. Do you see them winning that game clean and square?
Okay. I think even if I did not hear some parts of your first question completely because I think your network went off.
Okay. Okay, should I ask? I was asking about Rashford. Yes, Marcus Rashford. He would have done better if Xabi Alonso, Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim looked at him and could get the best out of him. Don't you think he would have done better and he could have been good, fit in Manchester United now, and they would have done better, even with the likes of Umbamo that came in, Matis Cunha that came in. They would have still done better. But now, and they have a Champions League this today. They are playing against Olympiacos. Do you think?
Okay.
Do you think that game they win it square and square?
Okay, thank you very much for that. I sincerely do not think that Marcus Rashford would have thrived under Ruben Amorim. The reason is because of the system that Ruben Amorim plays.
Okay.
I don't think Rashford would have been able to play in such a system because Rashford is a speed star. Rashford likes to. There are things that Rashford likes to do when he plays. I've always been a believer of Marcus Rashford. I don't know why. I'm not a Manchester United fan, but I've always been a believer of Marcus Rashford. But I sincerely don't think he would have thrived under this system. Because we see that even the players currently that Ruben Amorim are deploying in the system, some of them are still struggling to adapt to the system. Because the system of play forces you at some point to play against your natural role, to play out of position. So it is a worry. I don't think Rashford would have tried. Moving to Barcelona on loan was a perfect fit. I told my friend who is a Barcelona fan that Rashford is going to excel at Barcelona. There are two teams in the world that if you go to that team and you cannot perform, it is either you are not a good player or the focus of nature will not in your favor at that time. And those two teams are Barcelona and Real Madrid. And I'll tell you why. Their system of play accommodates virtually any kind of player. The only thing Hansi Flick will do on Rashford is to work on his passing, because Rashford sometimes can be crazy. He can move with the ball and not pass. You want to drive. They don't play like that at Barcelona. You play with your man. You play with your
Just
man.
like what Garnacho was doing in Manchester before he left to this thing.
So you see now, if you have watched Rashford at Barcelona, you see that Rashford is giving us a glimpse of the young Rashford we used to know at Manchester United, that can face defenders and beat them, that can score, that can assist, that can create chances, that can shoot. He's not just the Rashford that I largely think, and I still stand on that hill, that part of the problems he had at Manchester United were attitude problems. They were off the field problems. They were not on field problems. They were off the field problems. They were problems that happened in the dressing room. Fell out of love with the coach. They had issues and all of that. So moving to Barcelona was a step in the right direction for him. I can tell you that if Rashford keeps up the form he is having presently, and at the end of the day, Barcelona they are able to work on their finances, they will sign him on a permanent deal. Over to your next question. They are playing Olympiacos today. Barcelona will defeat Olympiacos. I'm not a Barcelona fan, but I strongly believe that they will defeat Olympiacos. The reason is this: Barcelona sometimes, like I told you when I answered the first question, they tend to struggle. My only problem with the team is lack of depth. They don't have depth in that team. You see, when you take out some players, the person they will bring in is somebody you have probably never heard of before. They are always academy players, and we know why that is happening to the team. They are having some financial struggles. But I see them defeating Olympiacos today. They have a better playing pattern. They have the better players. And then this is the Champions League. They have a pedigree when it comes to the Champions League. So I see them defeating Olympiacos today. Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to Walter. Of course, I want to talk about you, Marcus, because I know he's your player. I want to talk about you a little bit. Then, of course, I also want you to tie this up with the second Champions League game that, of course, that scheduled for today. We have Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid. The almighty Diego Simeone. So, do you think Diego Simeone and Arteta, who do you think will come out on top today? Because I think this will be a titanic battle between these two giants. But let me talk. I want to hear your take about Rashford. Then we'll now go. You now talk about Atletico Madrid.
Yes, Rashford is. Around said it all. Rashford, for me, it's just a revival. I'm not surprised at all. I've always felt Rashford is a fantastic football player. Trust me. When people doubt Marcus Rashford, I just understand. You know, it's a result of what Manchester United have been through for the past 10 years. So Rashford, is a reflection of that. And so I'm not surprised. It's finally, I watched Barca last match against the one that they played in the league on Saturday, and trust me, he was by far after Lamine Yamal. Of course, he was their best player on the pitch. He was, making passes, taking shots. He has his confidence back. He has his swagger back. So yes, it's a good thing for him. Change of environment has really helped him, and he's improving by the day. I said, there was a time it was, the comparison to Rashford was Rashford and Papi. That was it. When somebody say Rashford, say Papi, who's better? Yes, many people will say Papi, good and fine. But he had fans that would say Rashford is better. They will back it up with statistics. But he fell off. Not that he fell off. He was in the wrong environment for so long. I wish he had made the move to Real to a top or to another club sooner. But yes, I'm happy for him, and I'm not in any way surprised at all. Rashford is such a good player, and if he stays fit, he will do great things for Barcelona this season. Then for Atletico Madrid against
Arsenal.
Yes, it's going to be a hell of a game. Trust me, those two teams, they are. Atletico Madrid, they've improved drastically this season. It's not the same Atletico Madrid of last season. They falter a lot, but this season they are a very, very good side. And speaking of good side, I think Arsenal, for me, Arsenal among the best 2-3 teams in the whole of Europe. I really like them. I like watching Arsenal this season. I am impressed, but I see a team that is balanced. I see a team that they are well drilled. They know what they are doing, and I see a team that is hard to beat above everything. Yes, they are very, very hard to beat. You cannot just go and say you want to beat them and you beat them. They will give you a game, a run for your money. So I think I'll go for a draw in this one, because I think Atletico are also a very good side who can inform Julian Alvarez. And yes, so for me, it's going to be a top game. It's definitely the game of this round, and I'll go for a draw.
Okay, I think I'll forgive myself. Let me come back to Eru. I will not forgive myself if I don't talk about Chelsea today. Because yesterday we're just all about Manchester United, Liverpool, and the rest. But today I think we have to talk about Chelsea. And Enzo Maresca, is he back? Is he back in form? Because you guys were lamenting the other time that he lacked this, he lacked that. And Manchester United beating them, there should be the reigning World Club champion now, right? The reigning World Cup champion, let me put it that way. And now they also beat Manchester United also beat the current Premier League champion. So what he did. But now I want to ask you, with the momentum of Chelsea now, where do you see them finish this season? And again, with Garnacho, do you think Garnacho really fits in this team or the system of Enzo Maresca?
Okay, sincerely speaking, let me answer that last question first. I saw signing Garnacho as a waste of money. I don't hate Garnacho.
That is Marius Joel. That is Marius Joel. You say it's a waste of money.
If it was Marius Joel, they will not be in a hurry to let him go. You see, the reason is because I watched Garnacho at Manchester United. Garnacho at the time was a very fine footballer. But I have problems with footballers who have attitude problems. Garnacho has an attitude problem. That's one of the reasons Manchester United let him go. He has an attitude problem. I don't rate players that have attitude problems. Players that cannot be talked to at a young age, I don't rate them. That exuberance written all over them, I don't rate them. And then if you don't sign players that are surplus to requirements, you sign players that are key to the kind of football you play. Garnacho, you have watched him in how many games he has played. There has not been a meaningful contribution. What he does on the pitch is what he has even fell off. He did better at Manchester United. He did better. He did way better at Manchester United. And so it's a problem for me. I just pray that he's able to pick up at some point in the season, because Chelsea, of the club, they are not so patient with players. I'm a Chelsea fan, I'll tell you the truth. Chelsea, they are not so patient when it comes to doing business with players. They could just tell him off and get another player. on the pitch. So that is for Garnacho. I sincerely pray, and if he does better, that will be an addition to us, the fans, to be good for our team. But at the moment, he's not living up to expectation. And then going over to Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. Yes, Enzo Maresca is a good coach. I must tell you the truth. He has done so well for this Chelsea team. I mean, coming to meet a team that was struggling to finish 9 and 10, and you were able to finish top 4. You're able to win 2 trophies for them. That's brilliant. That's commendable. My only problem with Enzo Maresca sometimes, I think it is a problem with all the people that Pep Guardiola trained. Arteta has the same problem. They tend to gamble sometimes unnecessarily. You begin to wonder, is it that the coach is not seeing what we are watching? Or what exactly is running through your mind? They tend to gamble. That's my only problem with Enzo Maresca. Sometimes when you see his lineup, you are wondering, where did this one come from? How did this one happen? We saw in the last game, yes, he was not on the stand. He was not on the stand, but he was watching from the stands, rather. He was not on the touchline. But he was the one that was giving instructions to Caballero. There's a gusto on the yellow card. You are taking off a Josh Attenborough who was playing so well in the game. These are gamblers. They are gambles. But then again, overall, Enzo Maresca has done so well for the Chelsea team. We have seen the players blend into his pattern of play. They have done so well. They have proven themselves to a certain level. We expect better. Where do I think Chelsea will finish in the season? I think we'll finish top 4. I don't see us contending for the title. I can't lie to you. And the reason is because of our inconsistency. We have inconsistency in performance. Imagine having 5 records in 5 back-to-back games. That does not tell well of a team that wants to win the league. We have inconsistencies. Until we are able to deal with those inconsistencies, I don't see us challenging for title. So what I see us finishing this season is trying to finish top 4. Trying to finish top 4.
Okay, let me come back to you. Let me go to the red side of Manchester. It will only be fair if I only allow you also Walter to talk about Ruben Amorim. You get? Do you see Ruben Amorim that is somebody that you can give him more chance and he will do something better? That is one. Secondly, where do you see Manchester United finish this season? And if you recall, from the first, I mean the third, is it second? I think it's 2 points. From the 4th, I'll be top 4. Okay, I think that's the top 4. I think it's 2 points from the top 4 to 9th. So Manchester United, if they can win their next game and maybe drop, they might fall into that terrain. Where do you see them finish in this season? Somebody shouting 15th. I don't know. Go ahead, Walter. Are you there, Walter?
Is the question for?
You said what? I can't hear you.
Is the question for me? I thought it was for.
It's for you now. I said it's only fair if I do not give you that chance to talk about Ruben Amorim because have spoken about Enzo Maresca. So I say it's only fair for you to talk about Ruben Amorim. Do you think if they give him more chance, he's going to do something better? He's going to try to put his philosophy down and he'll get everything in?
To be honest with you, I really don't know. I am tired. I don't want to be an analyst.
Because to be honest, I think the consistency, that's where the problem is. He might do very well this game. You see the next game he'll flop badly. So I think it's the consistency that is the problem.
That has been the problem. But I watched United game against Liverpool. To be honest with you, yes, I wasn't entirely impressed because is it sustainable? Are we going to play like that against every team and get away with it? No, Liverpool were just a bad side, and I think if Liverpool were any decent, they would have actually, won that game. But I really want Amorim to succeed. I think he's a nice guy. He says smart things and says the smart words, but I just have this doubt about him. I have huge doubt about him. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what to say.
So where do you see Manchester United finish this season?
Top 8.
Top 8. Okay, that's fair enough. My in-law will always say that Ruben Amorim should concentrate on the team more than his hair because it's like his hair is more. He concentrated more on his hair. That's what my in-law will always say. I don't know why. I would love for Amorim. He's such a young man, and
I see confidence to be dealt at every blow. So it will come good. I pray it comes good, but it's just too stubborn for my liking. But let's see if the stubbornness will finally pay off for him.
All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you as always. Of course, we don't have time again on the P&B Sports Show. I want to thank you always for your analysis on this show. Thank you so much, Mr. Eru. Thank you so much, Walter Odige from Lagos. Thank you so much for your contribution on this show today. All right, that is the size of our show this morning. You can connect with us in all social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at Politics and Business TV.English. Then on IG at P&B TV_English. Then on X at P&B TV_ENG. I'm Abel Sunday, and from me and the entire team right here in Abuja, I say.